everybody, it's Jerry from the Military Collectibles Shop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, bringing you another edition of What's New at the Military Shop. So this was actually a kind of a short week with the holidays, so I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday, stayed safe, and still got to give some and get some. Celebrate it as safely as you possibly can. So I just wanted to share a couple of things that came in this week. We didn't get a lot of stuff in this week, again, because it was kind of a short week, but we did get some stuff, so, and some kind of interesting stuff. First off, we got a Marine Corps dress blues uniform from Korea. It's actually dated on the inside, named and dated 51-52. That's a nice thing about the Marine Corps uniforms, that they're generally, the earlier ones are generally dated inside the sleeve area, so you can find them. Also has the name of the Marine in the collar area, so we were actually able to do some research and get some research on them. So that's really awesome. Anytime we can put the history of the item together with the artifact, that's just fantastic. So I love it when that happens. We also got in a little bit later, but Vietnam Erdl pattern camouflage jungle jacket, dated on the inside 1970, I believe. Yeah, 1970. So the nice thing about this one is medium regular, not a super big or small size, but it's nice, decent shape. So that was good. Got in a Russian officer's belt buckle, Soviet Russia. No big shakes, but a lot of people collect Russian and Soviet things now, so nice to find. Not as common as it once was. Going back to the 1960s, this is one I'm going to be keeping in my personal collection. It's actually a Father Grappi button from the 1960s civil rights era movement. And what's interesting about that one is it's actually an anti-Father Grappi button. I have a decent sized collection of Vietnam War, both pro-war and anti-war memorabilia, and it's actually kind of unusual. You tend to find more of the anti-war Vietnam stuff from the 1960s than you do the pro, or in this case anti-Grappi. So, interesting piece. And a local Milwaukee kind of thing. For those of you who may not know, Father Grappi was a civil rights leader here in Milwaukee who organized one of his most famous acts was the march across the 16th Street Viaduct from the north side of Milwaukee, which was typically a larger African American community, over to the south side community that was mainly Polish, German, Italian community. So he kind of led that integration, and obviously in the 1960s, that sparked a lot of controversy, a lot of violence, and things that we see. And obviously we're still dealing with. So, Father Grappi button, neat piece from my own collection. We did get in one of the World War II German Feldgendarme gorgets. Kind of interesting. We got a gorget in last week too. This was worn around their necks, and this would have been for like the military police. And the interesting thing about this particular gorget is it has this luminescent paint, which actually allows it to glow in the dark. So that helped the military police be seen at night or in low light conditions, so that they could you knew where they were, so you weren't running them over. Interestingly enough, the German army referred to the military police as chained dogs. So, also in the German section, we got in a World War II German podium banner. And this is kind of interesting, kind of typical World War II German flag, but with the addition of the white stripes and the fringe on the bottom, tells us that it was a podium banner. What makes this one really interesting is that it was actually signed by a lot of the American soldiers who had captured it. So again, that's really great because that allows us to kind of place this in history to see where it might have come from. Preliminary research on this actually shows that these were all members of the 44th Infantry Division. So we're trying to nail down the regiment, but we actually have them. We know it was from the 44th Infantry Division that fought over in Europe, and so that gives us a little more history with this flag than just a typical flag. So that was a great find. Really happy to find that. We did get some Imperial German steins going back a little earlier. The Imperial steins were kind of a traditional, obviously steins in Germany were a traditional thing, but the regimental steins, as we call these, were given to soldiers usually on their retirement. They're typically named to them. They're named to the particular regiment that they might have come from, the different region, and that's why you'll find them in all kinds of different colors, shapes, sizes. This one happens to be from Bavaria. It's got the Bavarian lion and the Bavarian motto and different things along, again, with the soldier's name and the regiment information. 10th Infantry Regiment, Prince Ludwig, 12th Company, 1901 to 1903. These are actually interesting. They have inside, they have what's called a lithopane, and a lithopane is actually an image that's pressed into the porcelain, and then when you hold it up to the light, you can actually see an image. And one of the ways that you can actually tell a real German stein from the period, from some of the later reproductions, is the what's going on in the lithopane. A lot of the later ones are a little more risque than you would find in an original. So the originals tend to have, like this one, there's a soldier going off to war, and he's saying goodbye to his girlfriend up on a balcony. Okay, but they both have their clothes on. All right. Some of the later ones, the reproduction ones that we tend to see in the 1950s and 60s, even 70s and 80s, I mean, you can still buy these in German shops today, but they'll have lithopanes that are a little more risque. Also, one of the other things that you can tend to see is that the original German steins tend to be shaped a little bit more angularly, where the newer ones are a little more perpendicular. And one of the other things is the detail work on the original steins. The original steins, you can actually feel all the different buttons and all the different detailing work, because that was actually all hand painted after. I mean, there was still like a decal work that was applied or whatever, but then it was finished with hand done detail work. So a lot of the majority of newer German beer steins, it's just a decal transfer that's put on, and there's no additional detailing or anything like that. So, you know, these are nice when they turn up, you know, because again, these are over 120 years old-ish, you know, so kind of getting up there. And then one of the other things, we had gotten this in actually a couple weeks ago now, but I just came across it again, and it's a World War II German photo album. And the interesting thing is that this was actually for a Gebirgsjäger, or a German mountain trooper. So lots of pictures of mountains, troops in mountains, German troops doing mountainy things, typical cities, and a lot of views, that kind of thing. And I don't want to give away the ending, but unfortunately the soldier dies in the end. So, okay, so I hope you enjoyed this brief tour of some of the couple of the new things that we got in. Hopefully we'll be getting some more in coming up as we head into the new year. We're looking forward to that. So let us know if you've got any questions on anything. If you'd like to see other things, we'll keep doing this. We've gotten a lot of really positive responses, so I want to thank you for that, those of you who contacted us and let us know that you kind of like this, because this is fun for us to do, and it gives us a way to kind of share some of the things that come in. So have a happy new year, everybody. Stay safe. We want to see you as soon as we can, but until then, find us online, militarycollectorshq.com. So until then, I'm Jerry from the Military Collectibles Shop. See ya.